Now in this video I'm going to show you how you can do a parallel data load using SQL Server integration services. What I've done is I've gone ahead and I've downloaded this program called HJ Split that allows you to split a file, and I ran that to create several segments of the file and have it broken into essentially 50 megabyte chunks. And so I have files 1 through 6, and you can see here the one left over was fairly small. What we'll do here is we're going to show you how to load 1, 2, and 3 in parallel using SQL Server integration services. We'll do that by starting with the existing package that we had before. So if you recall, in our Hive input file, if we look at the properties here, we're using the connection manager called March 0 file, and that's fine, but what we need to do is point this guy to our first set of files here, and I'm going to actually go ahead and right click and hit edit to change the file specification. So here what I'm going to do is, rather than zeros at the 0 file, I'm going to go ahead and type in 1.001, and so that will go ahead and specify the next file. Now all the rest of the attributes still stay the same. Advanced, preview, so here we can see the new set of files. And in fact, I'm going to change this to call this March 1 and then 001 and click OK. So this is our connection here. Now to run in parallel, what we need to do is actually create copies of the input file and the destination file and then have those run at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to first copy our connection manager and paste it in the same region here and edit it. So following the same pattern, we're going to do 2, change our file name here to 2, and again just check preview and make sure it opened it up okay. We're all good, and click OK. And then we'll go ahead and copy this and paste. Select edit, and then call this 3. And change the 2 to a 3. And again, validate with the preview. So everything's looking good there. It's interesting that we have this whole null row here, so that should be interesting. We'll see how that works out. Maybe the splitter routine is splitting and adding a line feed. So what we're going to do is we're going to, just to be on the safe side, skip one data row and refresh. So that looks good. And then just let's double check over here to make sure we didn't run into the same problem. So if we go to preview, here it looks like our splitter routine didn't split exactly by row, but rather by file data. So we've got some offset data in our data set. So what we're going to do is we'll just go ahead for demo purposes, change this to 1 to skip, and now our first file, our first row will get skipped in the process. Okay, so now we have our file set up. We'll be willing to take the hit on the end value. Hopefully that'll be okay. So the next thing we do, we're going to take our input files, and I'm going to rename this one to 001, and then go ahead and copy and paste it. And move it around here. Okay, well not. Let's go ahead and rename it and call this 2. And we'll paste in another one. And we'll call this 3. Okay, next thing we need to do is specify the destination. Now, first thing I tried to do is go like this, but it indicates that we're only allowed to have one input. So this is why this is the clue that you need to kind of take this guy and make a copy of it. So we'll go ahead and copy and paste it. And we'll move it on up here, and we'll call this, we don't care about the name. So we'll go ahead and make our connection. And let's just double check that everything was okay here on the import. So here we have, again, our batches. We're loading in 100,000 at a time. And we look at our mappings, and all the mappings are okay. Now let's go ahead and do one more copy and paste for the third item. And then drag drop it. And double click. And we see here we've got our stage page hits and we have our mapping. Now again, for the connection manager, it's okay to have the same connection manager because it's just using that as a point of reference for the thread operation. We can go ahead and click OK to finish this. Okay, so now we have our three items. Use this little button to zoom to fit everything in here. So we have our three processes that we're going to go ahead and run in parallel. And to get things started, we'll go ahead and, like we did before, hit the start button. So we'll get our set of warnings that we had on the validation. If all goes well, we should start to see the data getting copied in parallel here. So we have our 1 started, 2, 3. We're counting off the rows here. You can see we're getting about the same performance in parallel that we had with the single file as far as the execution goes. So each one of these should copy about 1,000,000 rows. So there we go, boom, 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 all done. So we can see from our progress indicator, scroll down here at the end, for those 3 files, it took us about 30 seconds to do the parallel load. So we can see the performance advantages of doing the parallel load, and just to double check, we'll go ahead and go here and get our count. And we can see our count of records. Essentially it added another 3 million rows of data in there. And so that's it. With this video, we showed you how to do the parallel load using SQL Server integration services into SAP HANA. Thank you.